Here's some insight on what causes us to choke. If you're playing a game of horse with your neighbor, you want to win, so you're going to try. Now, what happens if you guys bet a $10 bill on the game or a $20 bill on the game? I guarantee you, you're going to play probably better, certainly with a lot more focus. Similar to when you're studying at home and you probably take 2 hours to study and you really don't get much accomplished because, you get distracted. You don't really buckle down. What happens when you study at school, when you walk into a classroom and your teacher says, we have 20 minutes to study our notes. We're going to have a pop quiz, but I'm going to give you a chance to study. It's worth 100 points. Ready, go. What happens is the whole class falls silent, and you probably have studied as intensively as you ever have in your life. Now just think if you always studied like that. Now you probably can't study like that for 3 hours because your attention span, it might not be doable, right? Physically doable. But you don't need to. You don't need to study like that. Simply because when you're studying with that level of focus, you don't need to study for 3 hours. Well, back to our basketball analogy. So $20 is on the game. I probably played the best game of horse in my life. Now what happens if we bet $500 on the game? And I have to pay my neighbor off, right? I got $200 in savings. I'll probably get $150 for Christmas, and I'll still owe them. Now the game just got real, didn't it? Kind of like the state finals. So now that the game is real, what happens? Why do you choke? Because you're focused on what happens if I lose. When it was 10 or 20 bucks, you were focused on, hey, I want to win that 20 bucks, right? But when there's $500 on the line, you're focused on what you don't want to happen. I don't want to lose 500 bucks. So what happens is there is more importance, and you probably do. Obviously, a game that's worth $500 is more important than a game that's worth 20. And some people teach, don't put any more level of importance on the state finals that you do in a regular tournament. I don't know if that's possible, because it is more important. Some people might be able to do it. There's probably not a cookie cutter approach. So you could say, well, if it works for you, give them that advice. Fine, good. Their issue solved. Someone like me, I would say, that's stupid. The state finals is just more important to me. I can't escape reality here. It just means everything. I want to win. So, having said that, we want to look at the state finals as, this is a chance for me to win the state title. And what we like to repeat to our athletes in these big matches, and I'll tell them, if you win the state title, you're the state champion for the rest of your life, right? For the rest of your life, you're the state champion. I remember years ago, John Smith told me that. He's like, Nick, you win one tournament, Olympic champ forever. Until the day you die, you're the Olympic champion. It's pretty powerful, pretty exciting. And I was like, man, that's true. That's pretty cool, right? He's probably a guy that was focused on the winning aspect of it, not what could maybe slip through his fingers. So if you're focused on losing $500 and then how bad you don't want to lose $500, and then what if I do lose $500 and then I don't have $500 and where I'm going to get $500, your thoughts are going down in the toilet now. And then after a day of that, you go to the game and you're probably not going to play well. Because you usually, by the time you wrestle the state semis, you have another day until the finals. So you've spent a day thinking about all the tragedy and all the sorrow and the hurt and the state title slipped through my fingers, right? Or you could say, I'm going to win I have a chance to win 500 bucks, right? I have a chance to win 500 bucks. I'm going to bring my A game, and someone says, yeah, but you could lose 500. So I don't think like that. I'm only focused here. I'm only focused. I refocus on what I want, not what I don't want, right? So shooting baskets, you probably don't do very well because there's no importance on it. Some of you wrestle that way in practice, like a clown, right? You roll around and wiggle around on each other. It's just a waste. That's the reason our practices, we always have a competition. 3 minutes, one man's down. If you get away, start back down. You have to get away 3 times just to win. Top guy has to turn you for at least 2 points to win. Time, raise your hand if you won the match. Other guy's down, right? 4 minute takedown match. Time, who got the most takedowns? Good, right? Everything's a competition because I never let them wrestle live without it being a competition, and I ask 10 times a practice for them to raise their hand because I want them to always have the importance on it, right? Because we're trying to wring out the improvement here. So you do that when you're shooting baskets in the backyard too, when your neighbor shows up and you have a $20 bill in your hand. But when you have a $500 bill in your hand, panic can set in. So I would encourage you to kind of do some role playing in your head and think about, okay, what's going to happen when I'm in the state finals or the state semis? Is my default mechanism to go negative and think about the what ifs and what if I don't win? Or can I train my mind? It's like doing a fire drill, right? Over and over and over at school. Finally, when the fire drill goes off, you know what to do because you've rehearsed it, right? And you can make situation cards, they're called. You make little cards full of situations. They could be technique issues, or it could be things like this, right? You're down by 1 point. You're on your feet. There's 30 seconds left. Your opponent's been hit for stalling. State finals, what are you going to do, right? So now I know where I'm going to go. I'd probably chase elbows and try to score off of elbows. You might do something differently. So situation cards can be helpful, but also it's like role-playing. Salesmen do it, right? You can also do some role-playing from a psychological standpoint and say, how am I going to handle this in the state finals? Am I going to think about this opportunity to win and potentially be the state champ for the rest of my life? Or am I going to go negative, just like the kid who's afraid to lose a $500? This other guy's just as afraid to lose $500. No one wants to lose $500, but he's learned to focus on the winning and the potential to win $500. So then his game elevates. I think that's the key to success at a high level, is learning where your default goes to, and sort through that before it happens. That way, when you are finally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now in a big match, you've practiced this, and you're more likely to go into the groove, and you know what to avoid. Good luck to everyone. Hopefully this helps, and if you do make these big competitions, this exercise is going to help you to increase the odds of success. Good luck.